Hello everyone, so it's roof day today on this job. I've already done the joists on it, and if you want to see me do those, you can check that video out here. So what I'm going to do, I'm only here for a small part of the day. The trusses are being unloaded, which is great. I can hear that in the background. What I'm going to do is, you can see here the bricklayers have just roughly bedded on the plates. I didn't half lap and join them all up because I wasn't here, but they bed them on more to get them nice and level, but they leave them, I'll just turn this camera around here. What they do is pretty cool. They leave them long for me, so I can just come now, take some measurements and half lap all these together. So what we've got here, it's going to be quite a nice interesting roof. It's what I call sort of a hybrid roof. It's a truss roof, but there's a lot of hand cutting in it, and I think there's actually how many hips is there on here? I think it's hipped. It's got a hip end here, along here is a hip end, so 1, 2 hips. I think it's hips along the back here, so that's 4 hips. I think it's hips along the front as well, so that's 6 hips on here. So I'll have to refresh my memory with the drawing, which I'm not going to do at the minute, but it's going to be nice and interesting. Lots of, as I say, trusses, but lots of traditional hand cutting in those hips and jack rafters and everything. And there's a couple of valleys and stuff in it. I think that's going to be diminishing trusses, but I might scrap those and go for lay boards and hand cut jack rafters, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm waffling on. What I'm going to do is get all these plates half lapped together so they're all neat and tidy, and then we're going to, if I just go over here, no machine or crane for us, unfortunately. We're going old school. What I've then got to do is, here they are, look, get this scaffold cleaned off a little bit. You can see, look, all the trusses are down here. So what we're going to do is basically, we'll get a couple more guys in here and we'll pretty much just handball them all up, stack them sort of relatively where they're going to go, and then when I come back to actually properly start fitting the roof, we'll just slide them all across and start bracing them up. So anyway, let's get on with something. Right, so I thought I better not do all those half laps without sort of showing you what I'm doing. Pretty simple really. I've got this timber, this 4x2 plate is 95mm wide, so we should normally have a 100mm lap, but what I'll do just to make it easier, because we're lapping round corners, is I just make the lap the same width as the timber. So I'm marking 95mm, and then what I've done here quite simply, I don't use a marking gauge, I just set my square up. So it's pretty much half the thickness of the material, but what I do, even if it's not exactly half the thickness of the material, it doesn't matter, because what I do is I make sure that I mark from the top edge of the 4x2 all the time. I'll just get it down there. Trying to do this one-handed. So if I mark from the top edge all the time, whether I'm cutting out this top bit or whether I'm cutting out this bottom bit, both these two laps will meet nice and flush. So pretty much what I've done, as I said, mark round, I've got my 95mm mark out, so now I'll just cut down across the top there and then turn it on its edge, cut sort of diagonally down the side and the end, and then flip it over, and then the cut you put on the end gives you a guide to cut back up the other side. So I'm just going to cut this one, mark the other one, and just show you how I do that. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Sorry, I was hoping to nab someone to hold the camera, but I'll just check that that's even in the picture. What we got there? Is it roughly? Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed you can see what I'm doing. Right. That's it. This one's quite nasty, it's got a few knots in it, not making excuses, but it can pull the saw around a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. So, just going in the top, nice and steady. I'm not forcing the saw, I can use my hand to pull it, to keep it on line here. We'll get most of the way down the end. Right, and once I'm right down the end there, look, I've got a nice straight line, and then what I kind of do is sort of guillotine motion down to keep the end of the saw at this corner here, because I don't want to run the saw through all the way, because it can wander. So you'll see, keep the point of the saw at that corner, and then just bring the back of the saw down. Nice and easy. I don't want to be forcing the saw. If it starts to go off the cut, you don't want to be starting to force the saw, because it will make the front of the saw go one way and the back of the saw go the other. So just nice and steady, down. There you go, till I've hit my point there. And then what I can do is just flip it over, you see. I've already got this line here which acts as a guide for my saw. So I'll just put my saw in there, look, down I go to the other side, look, nice and easy. Again, kind of do a sort of guillotine motion until it all get out this corner, and then just join them together. Going down to a knot there. There, look at that. Perfect. So I'll just do the one on the other side. Got to make sure it's the right hand though. This one's coming out the bottom. Yep. So, although this lap here, so this lap here is not being cut out at the top. Hope you can see that. It's being cut out at the bottom. As I said, look, I still mark it from the top. And then we know even if the square's not dead centre, we know that it's going to cut the same amount out. So I'll just flip that over, look. Put my 95mm mark up the end. Square that across. Just repeat. I like cutting these by hand. I don't see the need to use a tool, to be honest. It keeps your saw skills going and keeps the muscles in your arm toned up. Same again. Down that end, look. And then bring the back of the saw down. Beautiful. Nip it over the other side. Same again, look, I'm cutting rid of that waney edge, which is nice. That's the last one. I'm just about out of puff now, I haven't cut all those, but yeah, let's fit that in. That should be perfect. See if I can adjust the camera so you can see me fitting it in. It's going over here, look. What can we do there? Any good? I've got the camera strapped to a scaffold pole, so let's have a look. Right, yeah, lovely. See? That now should just go in there, under that one. Just a bit of muck. Just where that waney edge was, where they bedded it down, the muck has obviously followed the mould, so. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Right. Oh. I'll get my other camera and have a look at that, because this is my time-lapse camera. Right, there you go, they're all done. So you can see, although they look all a bit wonky, because as you can see, some of these timbers are a little bit twisted. As I said in other videos, these were, the guys picked the best they could, but we're not going to worry too much about that. What I'll do is probably stitch all these together, either nail or screw them all up, and they'll all come up a treat. So they're all ready. I know you might think it's excessive to half lap them all, but building control like to see it, and to be honest, I think it makes a much better job. We've got a hip coming in here now, it's just all nice and bound together. Once it gets, you know, 5 or 6 tons of roof on top of it, that'll all squash down nice and flat. I'm just going to give a little shout out to the bricklayers. This end of the building here wasn't the same measurement as the end of the building. That end, that end was 4 meters and 38 millimeters, and this end was 4 meters and 39 millimeters. So, you know, they failed there really. It's a millimeter difference. So, you know, I'll have to have them on that. Now, of course, I'm joking. Absolutely fantastic. So that is about it. I don't think, in terms of this video, that's just to show you, sort of give you an idea of how we go about our plates. Some people dry bed on like 3x4 plates, but you know, we just bed these on. The brickies bed them on, so there's nice solid packing underneath the plate, and then we can just fix the roof down to it, and then the roof is then tied to the plate, and the plate is then tied down to the blockwork skin with plate straps. So what we're going to do now is get some of these trusses up. I may put some time-lapse up, but if I do or if I don't, I will see you when I start this roof properly, which will be in the next video. Thanks for watching.